Welcome back to my channel. My name is Erica, and today I want to share with you how easy it is to sew your own tea towels. So a couple weeks ago, I was in Hobby Lobby and I found this muslin toweling fabric, which I've never seen before, and I've actually never bought fabric from Hobby Lobby, but I thought these were the perfect material to make tea towels. And so I decided to go ahead and grab that red and blue striped toweling fabric and make some tea towels. And I am kind of a sucker for tea towels. I buy the ones from Target that are the Magnolia. I think it's Magnolia or Hearth and Hand, and I'm just obsessed. They're so great to have in the kitchen for so many different uses. I even decorate with them, and making your own is great because you can customize them to whatever look you want, and then they also make super great gifts. Now, this is a very beginner-friendly tutorial, so if you're new to sewing, hopefully you find this pretty easy, and I'm going to break down all of the steps. So what I'm doing first is I'm going to measure out the length of the fabric. Now I'm not going to change the width of these because they're already kind of on the smaller side. My fabric was 21.5 inches wide, and then I'm going to be cutting them 32 inches long, and this is allowing for hemming, so allowing about an inch to hem on all four sides. So I'm going to go ahead and use my cutting mat and trim down this fabric to 32 inches as I said. Now you'll need 1 yard of this toweling fabric, and really you can get away with a lot of different types of fabric. Like I said, this is a muslin fabric. You could also use linen or a linen blend, whatever you find. I always look for sales at Joann's and now Hobby Lobby. Hobby Lobby doesn't have a huge selection, but I actually found some other really amazing fabrics that I'm going to use in some upcoming tutorials. I'm going to redo some blog posts that I have and use them, and they're absolutely gorgeous. So if you have a Hobby Lobby near you, I recommend checking them out. Otherwise, Michael's or Joann's is a really great place too. So then the next step would be to cut out fabric for the loop. Now this part is optional, but it is nice to have if you like to hang your tea towels. And so I just cut a piece of fabric 2 inches wide by 5 inches long, and I ended up making a few of these towels, so that's why I cut more than one. But then the next step is to go ahead and hem your project, but first we need to do some prep. So what you'll be doing is putting your fabric wrong side facing up if it has a wrong side. Mine didn't, so I just chose a side and went with it. But we are going to fold up our fabric 1/2 inch and give it a press. Now I'm using this little doodad, and I always forget what it's called, but I'll have it linked down below. They're only a couple bucks, and it's really, really nice because it helps you to gauge how far you're folding your fabric up, and it's a lot niftier than using like a fabric measuring tape, which is what I usually use, but I've had this now for a few months, and it is absolutely essential in my opinion. It's just so great to have on hand. So I'm just folding up the fabric 1/2 inch, as I said, and giving it a press. I find it better to just kind of stamp the iron down as opposed to wiggling it around as you would if you were ironing, clothes. It just helps to keep the fabric folded exactly how you had it instead of shifting it. And then I go all the way down the side, and now we're going to go ahead and fold it again another 1/2 inch, give it a press, and then this is where we will go ahead and pin the fabric. Now what I will say is that the corners of this might get a little bit bulky. I found it to be okay. I do have another tutorial where I made a flannel blanket, and basically following the same instructions that I'm giving you here. I mean, it's a little bit different with the measurements, obviously, but I, in that tutorial, show you how you can reduce the bulk in the corners. So if you do find that's an issue for you, I'll leave that video linked, so you can go ahead and check that out and learn how to reduce bulk in the corners. Again, I didn't have an issue with it really, but if you do, go ahead and check that out. The last piece of prep work is prepping the loop, and this is pretty easy, and you really don't have to measure. You can if you want, but I just fold the first long side over to about the center line of the fabric, give it a press, then we'll flip it over and do the same on the other side. give it a press, and then we're gonna fold it in half one more time so that it's a little bit thinner of a piece of fabric. I call this hot dog style. I don't know, that's something that I learned in school, and I've put that in posts on my blog and things, and people are like, what do you mean? This is hot dog style. I don't know. Comment down below if you learned that along the way. But anyway, giving it a press, and then I'm just going to stick one little pin in it just to keep them together. And then we'll go over to the sewing machine and get to sewing. So we'll first sew this loop, and what I do is I line the open edge of the strip of fabric with the right side or the edge of the presser foot, and we're just going to sew down the entire length of that strip. And then we're going to take it back to our tea towel and pin it so that when we go to sew the perimeter of the tea towel, it will get sewn in and you can use it to hang up your tea towel. So the easiest way I found to integrate this loop into the tea towel itself is to fold the towel in half over the long edge and take that strip of fabric and basically shove the end all the way to the top of the folded hem on the right side of the fold and pin it in place, and then take it to the other side, the left side of that fold, and do the same thing. And now you have added that loop, and we can go ahead and sew all the way around. Now to hem our tea towel, we are going to take this one side at a time. I start with the side that has the pins in it facing up, and we are going to line the edge of the towel up with the edge of the presser foot. We are going to forward and backward stitch at the beginning, and then sew all the way down to the end and forward and backward stitch and complete that one side. And then we'll clip the thread, and then we'll start on the next side. This just gives that nice like crossed look. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but where the threads cross each other, as opposed to just rotating and going around as you might with some other projects. Now, if you're someone who prefers to have written instructions, I do have a blog post that goes along with this video that I'll link down below, and you can print off the instructions. But I hope that you learned something new. I hope this was helpful for you. If you do have any questions, please feel free to leave them down in the comments and I'll be sure to get back to you. But thank you so much for being here. I really greatly appreciate it. And if you want to see more videos like this, make sure that you hit that subscribe button, give this video a like so I know that you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.